All good.
Taking things off with this beautiful video, dog. Ooh. But actually taking things off with, don't let me forget, we've got to get a quick video for everybody saying happy birthday to Dom. No, we're going to record a quick video for a video card we're sending him for his 40th tomorrow. Big 4-0 tomorrow for quick Danny Dom Dom.
What's that? What's that?
How's it coming out of the speaker? Is that all you want?
Oh, no, it's fine. I know why it's doing that. It's because
Shall I do a tasting?
No. I was watching the... Oh, it's all terribly confusing. There we go. Mute. That's fine.
Do you need anything from me?
A drink.
Of beer?
Yes, please.
Shall I just pick a random one or do you have one?
Anything that's not dark. Ooh, 12 people. What?
This one?
Oh, thanks. Oh, lovely. We boosty. Okay.
I might just go ahead and lots of fake chat. Just don't do that.
Can you all hear me? I think you probably can. We're just waiting for everyone to gather in the lobby.
Tell us a story, Rich.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Once upon a time, there was a lovely little boy called Fraser, and Fraser just liked jam. His joys were simple and few. Fast forward 15 years. Fraser had built an empire on his jam. An empire that stretched from horizon to horizon, on which the sun never set. Good. You can hear me.
Hello. Good. How are you? Hello. Just made it. That was a great one. Is that what you always are? I'll watch this run out. Strong spot again. Like a trainer. I'm also stressed about how vaccinated to get to wait this session. Just by the floor.
Picking her up from what?
Yeah, take the train.
Give you a bucket.
Well, we'll be straight after David, and David's going to be succinct. Short and sweet, see? So Fraser, we just need to make sure doesn't tell us that everybody's holidays. So I managed to say, on Wednesday, I went to Liverpool tomorrow. Who forgot her keys?
Womp womp.
Had to get locked in. So we brought Isla back here, and then me and my friend came back in. I was like, I swear to God, I was like, I'm stuck. So it was like, well, and then I was like watching something, and then just popped around to it. And it's like, oh my God, that's a like 5 minutes he talked about you jam. So what do you think about it? Next game, Mark. That is a minute. That's a minute.
We have 18 people watching online. It's like Cyberfest.
Should we aim for like a minute's time? Do we have a few people there? On the video?
We have 20 people.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. That we're going to be starting in just a few minutes, folks. Anushka's trying to round everyone up. Yeah. Thank you, Martin. I think there's like 3 times as many people here as there were watching Cyberfest, so.
Cool. Can you see a video? Yeah.
No, it's just chat.
Ah, there he is. Hello. Yes. So before we got started, we have a little bit of a request. It's I'm resisting the urge to say but Dom's birthday. He's turning 40 tomorrow, and we're sending him basically like I don't know, what would you call it, like an a card that's online. I don't know. So we were just hoping that basically everybody would shout after 1, 2, 3, happy birthday, Dom. And then it'll go into a wee video that we'll send to him for his birthday, and we'll probably share the video around with everybody else as well. So, yeah. Oh, is it over 25 only? But yeah. So after me, 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna all shout happy birthday, Dom. Yeah, you ready? Dom,
everyone squeeze in a little. Squeeze in a little.
Scooch. All right.
That's it.
Okay, we're ready when you're ready.
Okay, right. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday, Dom! I hope you all shouted at home.
Do you want to do the old honours?
All right. Well,
Fraser,
thank you.
stand at the top.
Good evening, everybody. Great to have you all here again. Hello to everybody tuning in at home. There you are. Hello. I'm not going to say a huge amount. Just welcome you all. There's a few people who it's maybe your first time at one of these, so if you haven't met everybody yet, make sure you get the chance to say hello. I know it's a very nice evening out there, so we'll keep this to time. I'm sure everybody wants to enjoy a bit of sunshine, but feel free to stick around for a beer afterwards, as always. I think David's kicking us off, so I'll pass over to him.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, just pop it in your... Yeah.
Try and pop it on. Here we go. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hi everybody. Good evening. So I'm going to give a very brief... Oh, is this...
We'll come back to that, it's fine.
Come
It's all
back
good.
up to it. So
Yep.
very, very brief business update, and it's always difficult to know how best to pitch this and what level of detail to go into. So I've tried to keep it relatively high level. but thought, members are such a big part of our business, and it's the kind of key bellwether of how we're doing as a business. So thought it was worth sharing stats in terms of where we are across beer and wine membership. So the two graphs that you can see, and hopefully everyone at home can see them as well, gives an indication of where we are. And I guess there's a picture of two different stories. On the beer side, I guess the reality is we've come off the high water mark of COVID highs in terms of beer membership number, and that's been declining over the last few months, albeit we're starting to see a plateau out of that. That also coincides with us putting up prices in February last year, which would have obviously had a knock-on impact on membership levels, which is what we expected. On the wine side of things, it's a slightly different picture where it's obviously a newer club where we've had a ramp up in the number of members, and then it's been relatively flat. I suppose more widely from a strategic standpoint, the world has kind of evolved and changed over the last 12, 18, 24 months, and especially so since we kind of COVID. As everyone's aware, cost of living crisis, people's pressure on consumer spending, etc., has had a knock-on impact onto businesses like us. The positive from our standpoint is we came into that period with scale and with size, which was good, but really what it's meant is for us, strategically we're focusing in on quality over volume. So the customers that we're acquiring and in our membership base, we want to absolutely keep those, and we're really focusing in on acquiring the best possible customers we can, rather than people that will come in, try one box and then leave. So for us, we will see lower aggregate membership numbers, but from each member, we want them to be with us for longer and ultimately make more money per member that comes in. So yeah, very much a focus on quality over volume. And JT's touched on it in previous meetings, but a big enabler to allow us to do this is using data. I guess across everything that we do when we're acquiring customers at the front end, in terms of do we acquire customers well, i.e. what channels do we get access to good customers, the customers that are likely to be retentive, etc., and do we track retention across the customer lifetime. So I know the marketing team is really embedded in using data in their day-to-day decision making, and that's really, really important. We're also increasingly looking to try and use data to really focus in on the customer journey. When's the right time we should be speaking to customers, in what way? How do we retain customers with targeted retention offers? How do we upsell or cross-sell to customers as well? And yeah, I think that's really the kind of the story for me of 2023, whereas in 21, 22, there was a big focus on volume, continuing to grow the membership base. We're fortunate we've got critical mass, and for us it's around how do we retain what we've got, how do we optimize what we've got, and how do we ensure that we manage profitability and margins where we can in an inflationary environment. So we'll go on to the next slide. Rather than keep it really, really, really dry and boring and financy, I thought try and make it slightly interactive and give people a sense of, I guess, the costs that go into compiling a box. So when someone's box arrives on their front doorstep, there's lots of different things that need to happen for that to be the case, and there's lots of costs associated with the box getting to someone's doorstep. So this bar chart represents the different composition of costs. So does anyone want to hazard a guess as to what the deep red bar represents?
The alcohol itself?
Yes, the beer. So luckily, well, or as you'd expect, that is the main cost. And for us, we absolutely want to ensure that the product and the proposition that the customer is getting is as good as it possibly can be. So we want to protect that cost and spend as much money on making the beer in the box as good as possible, similar on the wine side. For a lot of the other costs, we want to minimise and keep as small as possible. So the quality of the magazine, so Ferment and Glug, clearly we want to be as high as possible, and the printing and editorial costs that go with that, and that is something that the customer enjoys and experiences, so that's an important investment. Similar on the snack side, the packaging, clearly people want to have a good look and feel in the packaging. But a lot of the other costs are just hidden costs that we incur in getting the product to the doorstep. And there's a lot of work we are doing and can do to try and minimise that so that we can then divert as much cost and investment into what the customer sees at the front end. So go on to the next slide, and it just gives you a rough sense of what the different compositions of cost are. And these aren't 100% static, but they're kind of directionally accurate. So I don't know how surprising that is to some people, but there's certain costs there around courier, 3PL, where from a customer standpoint, they don't necessarily see the benefit of that cost. So for us, working hard to minimise that is a big, big thing. And there's lots of initiatives ongoing, which I'll talk about in a minute. As you'd expect, and as most other businesses have seen, over the last 12, 18, 24 months, we've seen a significant ramp up in costs across our supply chain, which again, we're doing as much as we can to mitigate, either by doing things slightly differently, renegotiating contracts, or slightly evolving what we're doing. By way of an example, packaging costs are up 30% in the last year and a half. Picking costs over about 2.5 year time frame are up around 77%. Magazine printing costs are also up quite significantly. So real big costs to the business, and some of those costs aren't really to the benefit of our end customer, and we've got to do as much as we can to try and mitigate that. So on to the next slide. Just touches on some of the initiatives that are ongoing across the business amongst different teams, and some of the different teams will be aware of some of these initiatives. So I suppose, what can we do to try and mitigate against inflation and improve margins as a business? At the top end, we can increase prices. So as I touched on, in February 14th last year, we put up prices for net new beer customers. We're in the process of increasing prices for all those customers prior to the 14th of February last year. So I think everybody across the business will see that. I know within CS you've seen some calls come through this week on that, and that those increases are being phased over the next few weeks. The topic of increasing costs on the wine side is definitely a live topic that we're thinking about. And it's fair to say price increases in general, we definitely don't do lightly. We know the impact that it has on our customers. We know the impact it has on cancellation and retention. And we do try and do as much testing as possible around the impact that any increases are likely to have. But on wine, there's going to be a big structural change to our cost base in August this year, when the cost of wine duty goes up. It was announced in the recent budget that that's going to be the case, and that's going to put 44 pence onto every bottle of wine in a way that we're not going to be able to mitigate. So that means that cost of wine more generally across the market is going to go up. So we'll be following the market. So you'll see some stuff come out about that in due course. Again, touch on data there. Where possible, we try and inform all the decisions we're making on price increases or anything else via the data that we've got, so that we can try and understand the impact of any decisions that we can make. And then in terms of some of the initiatives that are ongoing, again, some of you will be aware of these, they've been touched on before. So on beer and wine buying, James and Carlos have been working really hard around contract brewing, uniform box 1 and 2, which both those initiatives will have potential big benefits from a cost standpoint, and importantly from a quality standpoint from a customer point of view. So they'll hopefully get better quality of beer and allow us to provide them with a really good product and proposition. We've recently renegotiated rates with Europa, which represent a saving in terms of the pick, pack and dispatch, which we're starting to get the benefit of. There's a packaging tender process ongoing at the moment. Some of you might have seen Steph randomly dropping boxes around the office, testing the robustness. So the plan is that over the coming months we'll effectively redesign all our boxes that the customers get to do a few things. One, improve the aesthetic and feel from a customer standpoint. Two, engineer out cost and engineer out the use of cardboard. If you take our wine 3-cell box, for example, it's got a lot of excess cardboard that's probably not required, so we're looking to try and improve that. And that's something that the ops team and Steph are leading on at the moment, and Scott's been working on some really quite nice designs, so there'll be a really nice look and feel to them. So we'll share more information on that in due course. Other things that we've been doing, I guess, around operational efficiencies, and again, we touched on it in one of the previous meetings around performance over peak with Europa in terms of on-time and full dispatches. Monitoring and managing things like those are really important to us as a business because they have a real impact on the customer experience that our members get, and also the impact to us in terms of returns, credits, refunds, etc. So managing and minimizing things like delays and dispatches or damages is a really important metric, and we work hard across the team to try and optimize those where possible. And then the final point is just around overhead. So, ensuring that we're all productive as we possibly can be. And, there's been lots of work within all the different teams around ensuring that we're being as efficient and effective as we can be as a team. And it's always a challenge for any business that's growing and that goes under. Everybody's got a part to play in terms of the overall performance and finances of the business. We collectively need to be as smart and as efficient as we possibly can be. We're very fortunate that we're in this period of time where we have scale, we have robustness, we've got a big membership database, but we definitely don't take that for granted. And really, we're looking to everybody within each team. You guys are the eyes and ears of the business. You're working day in, day out, and where there's things that you think we can be doing more efficiently or improving, then we're absolutely all ears and open to listening to different suggestions. And as a business, we're not large, we shouldn't be bureaucratic, we're no longer a small startup, we're in this kind of middle ground, and the danger is in that middle ground we kind of lose our way, and we've got to ensure that we don't do that, basically. And we've got to keep what's made us successful in terms of executing quickly, iterating and learning quickly, and those are things that I think everybody within teams can do. Whether it's different projects you're working on or things you're working on in the day-to-day process of what you're doing, if you think those can be improved or optimized, then have a think about how that can be implemented and done. And that was really it, to be honest. I know it's kind of a relative high-level run-through, but for me, the business is in a really good position. If I look at each and every team and department, I think there's been a huge amount of work over the last 12, 18, 24 months, and we're in a stronger position we've been in since any point I've joined the business, and we want to keep that momentum going. There's definitely headwinds out there in terms of it's a hard macro operating environment, but if we all continue to operate well individually, then collectively, the business will continue to do well. So, that's a kind of update. Happy to answer any questions afterwards if anyone's got any, and hopefully it gives you a bit of a sense of things.
Thank you very much, David. So next up we've got the people team. We've got some exciting news from them, so we'll hear what you've got to say.
It'll be straight over to Lauren, so I'm just going to stand up very briefly, say hello. I'll pop back in a minute to just give some overview, but really Lauren's led this, I don't know, what do we, project? Let's just call it project, and yeah, just thinking about those efficiencies and things that David was talking about, and hearing the feedback from everybody that works across the company, and also the things that we wanted to do from the day we've joined the company. We're now at a place where we're hopeful that very soon it's going to be coming your way, rolled out, and you're going to be seeing a little bit more. But as I said, over to Lauren. Yeah.
Hello. I'm going to start off by saying I'm really nervous. So if I start doing some sort of weird spontaneous dance movement, just ignore it. It's not supposed to happen. It's my anxiety.
Or join in.
Out. Okay. Or join in. That would be great. But yeah, this is. I'm here to sort of share what I've been working on with Melody and Noosh and a few other people in the company for the past couple of months. So it's called The Hub. And essentially, we've built a people-focused internal intranet system, which you will all have access to sometime soon. which is via Google Workspace. And the idea behind it is it's designed to like help and support every person that works here in every role whilst they're here with the company. So there's a few different components to it. I've done a few different snapshots of what it's kind of looking like at the moment. So yeah, basically at the start, it's like a one-stop shop for anything like HR and people related. So basically, you will have access to all the policies. If you want to read them, I mean, go ahead. But it's important that they're there for transparency and you guys know what the policies are and they've been up to date. It has access to all our perks and benefits. So it's not just like a free Greg's sausage roll per week when you work at Beer52. There's lots more stuff that we do that I don't know everyone's aware of. So I'll talk to you about like the Nest pension schemes, our free beer and wine boxes. We have paid for volunteer days, which lots of people don't take upon. Cycle to work schemes, lots of really interesting things that we do for Beer52 for everyone. Next, I have a big passion for sort of training and development and learning, and there is so much resources that you guys have created. Like Doug does these amazing videos for the CS team. Whoop, whoop. Yep. Carlos and Thomas and then Chris also create incredible PowerPoints about all our wine themes. So I just wanted a space where we can put all of that together. So we've created like a wine and beer school. Along with that, we've created like an archive for all of the glugs and all of the ferments right from day dot. So it's really interesting history to watch them from what they were to what they are now. And you guys can all get that from access from home. We've also then trying to explore more training and development that is not just internal, so not just about wine and beer, but stuff that you can personally develop on yourselves. So we've collaborated with a company called the Skills Hub, and they've built as a bespoke training, basically online training system where you can basically gain accreditation, do a course on anything from like marketing to mental health awareness, equality and diversity, and that can go on your CV and it's free for you all to use as well. Next slide.
Already doing on it.
Thank you. An important part for me when I first started as well was really understanding the people behind the company, and I think it's important to note that us in the office get to know each other fairly well and the different departments, but we're really concerned that that doesn't happen remotely. So it's nice for everyone to understand like the departments. So we've got like a Meet the Teams page that's been created by Adele and Rich. So thank you very much for that. And I'll tell you a brief like history as well about sort of Beer52, where they come from. And so when you first start working here, you get a sense of the company that you're working for a lot better and a lot quicker. And then finally, a big part, obviously, HR and people is providing support and guidance. So there's lots of different ways that we try to do that. We've got like a mental health and wellbeing page, which is really going to focus on having like podcasts, TED Talks, support articles, signpost you to like the right places to go to if you need help with any of these things. We have also built like an online like helpful resource, which is like lots of different charities and sort of helplines that we've researched to deal with like a lot of different issues. It will also talk to you about like finances. We'll talk to you about like health at workplace or outside of work, support for families, etc., etc. A little bit of why we did this. One of the big things was the staff survey. I think one of the feedbacks that we had a lot was the fact that no one really knew, everything was a bit bitty. Like we wanted something that was all in one place, that was about people and really people focused. And that kind of, like Noosh was saying before, fed into like how we felt when we first started. We've had a lot of feedback from people that have just begun with us and remote workers and wanting to make sure that we build a connection of like, we have a great culture in this office, but we want that culture to feel at home as well. So hopefully this space is going to help with that and create a better community for us all. And it's also ease of access. It's on Google, you'll be able to get onto it really easily, and it's super flexible. That being said, it's only just started. I'm hoping it's going to grow legs, and because we can sort of change it really easily, it's really important for me, for you to like give us as much feedback as possible on it. If there's something that you think's missing, or you've got an idea, I'd love for us to like create this community all together, and make it be built by the people. I'm going to cry. That being said, it's still not quite there. It's going to be a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing more like manager training with people to get it to like a really good place. I'll be hopefully popping into like team briefings or team meetings to kind of show you how you're going to access it and engage with it. And yeah, hopefully it will all be in place by May, mid-May? May-ish. A date in May.
Mid-May.
But yeah, that's it, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Thanks.
Oh, makes me so infinitely happy. So yeah, part of the hub will actually also be a calendar of events. Did you like that segue, guys? I hope you did. So you'll see on the very front page, it basically lets you know what's happening. So, but in the absence of that, I shall present. So we obviously have Steph, as ever, every week does yoga classes for us. We're infinitely grateful, and thank you. We've got World Earth Day. That's going to mean a few things for different people depending on where you are, but majority of it is going to be around just being a bit thoughtful about what we do and how we impact our world. And with our new B Corp status, that's something that we really want to ingrain in through the office and elsewhere. And then we also have, so I think this might have been a repeat performance of this one, but it may have got postponed because I decided to go to Copenhagen. So, and I was not missing out on the Pilot Brewery tour. So 26th of April, we're going to be doing that. We've still got like 4 or 5 spaces. So anybody that wants to sign up, sign on up. I think we've got one more slide for me. If somebody would just press a wee arrow there. Again, Steph, there's nothing this woman can't do. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to say welcome to the team. Yeah? So Andrew's not here today, actually, but we've got Richard. Welcome, Richard. James is working from home, I think. Jilly, you are right there. Hey, Jilly. John, I think, maybe working from home. Sam in the back there. Can't turn around. And it, again, working on the segues quite hard in this one. James Eccleston is going to join us and then come up on the stage and do a wee chat about himself. So over to you. But yeah, welcome to the team, everyone. Sorry.
Thank you. It is Eccleshaw, by the way. Eccleston, you said, not Eccleshaw.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Terrible.
Your contract's correct.
Oh, okay. Right, so I'm not a big person on talking about myself, so what I'm going to do instead is really talk about what I'm here to do. So brought in as head of supply chain. This is week 6. Okay, so we're getting there. We're learning, asking less stupid questions by the week, I think. People will tell me in my team. What I'm here to do really, I suppose, is to build on, and David alluded to it, all the really great work that's been going on over the last 12 to 18 months. Very lucky to come into a great team. Just looking to build on that more and more. The best supply chains are those that you rarely notice. You know, if we're doing our job correctly and to the best of our ability, then hopefully there's much less bumps in the road that you guys will see throughout the business, whether that's in customer service or finance or marketing, wherever. Okay, so that's what we're here to do. But just so that you know what we do and what we aim to do going forward, I thought I'd cover off a little bit of that now. Some of this will be repeats from previous presentations, I'm sure, but next slide, yeah. So broken it down into key areas. You guys will be very familiar with the individuals that do them, but forecasting, top right there, Sian starts off with trying to predict our buying numbers, which is huge. If we get that wrong, as I think we've seen in the past, before Sian got his real hands across it, that's caused real issues, and we've been slogging and flogging Pennsylvania packs for months and months and months. I was very excited to get mine when I first joined the group, and I found out when I came in it was almost like a dirty word. So Sian does great work there. Carlos, James and Thomas, as you know, bring in brilliant beers and wines, do an absolutely incredible job, you know, front and center for our customers. Steph and Paul on inbound logistics, making sure stuff is inbound on time, every time, and on budget as close as possible. Theme planning, which Paul does, getting everything onto the system, which sounds like a minor task, but as we talked about today with looking at tasting notes going online, it's critical we get those absolutely right. Warehousing, Emma and Cian again, keeping Europa's feet to the fire and making sure they're doing everything we need them to do. Production planning again, Cian, making sure that we're getting all the right kits produced in the right time to get products out for customers. If that goes wrong even slightly, there's all kinds of problems that customer service probably deal with more than anybody else. Packing management, we've talked briefly about the work that Steph is doing, redesigning, getting those packages in on time, making sure we've got product that goes out in those packages is vital, of course. And finally, kind of last mile is the couriers, making sure we're handing across to our guys at Every and Yodel and Royal Mail to make sure we deliver on time every time. Now, within every single one of those, there are improvements to make, whether that's on accuracy, whether that's on efficiency, whether that's automation, performance, costs and redesign. There's lots for us to get our heads around. There is a huge amount of good stuff that's been done. We're building off a really good structure, I feel, coming into the business. I'm quite lucky to inherit that, but there's definitely more we can do. So that's the plan. It will take time. There are hopefully lots of different initiatives I can share with you in the future, whether that's in a formal meeting like this or you'll see them just coming across day to day into the business. But the plan is to really drive it forward with the team that we've got. That's a whistle-stop tour. The last thing I did want to mention, bit of advertising, is the next slide, which is our very own Steph is doing a fantastic charity walk in 2 weeks. You're jetting off?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so just going up to base camp, just a small thing of going to base camp in Everest. So raising money for Edinburgh Children's Hospital, is that right?
Yeah, we've raised like £1,100, which is
But it could be higher. It could be higher. So any spare money that you can contribute to that would be appreciated. But she's doing really well. So best of luck with that when it happens. Okay. And that's me. Thank you.
Thanks very much, James. And, next up we've got Carlos. Welcome back from Chile. Craft beer collaboration.
Before we do the first slide, a real quick one. I didn't want to make this thing about me, of course, but I'll give you a bit of context before we start. A few years ago, I had the chance to go to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, made the pilgrimage to the tomb of Haile Selassie. So it really meant something to me when Fraser said, hey, what do you think about collaborating with these guys? I'm ready for the first slide. Oh, is it coming? And yeah, it's obviously a brand that most people know about their music and all that. And to me, when I was standing in front of that tomb, and I kind of got the sense of the place and the people and what this whole thing meant. My introduction to that got via this man's music. It was just amazing to get the opportunity to work with these. With them, with the family fund, with the Mali family. When we look at the values of the family, and yes, you can put the next slide. When we look at the value of the family and what we do here at Beer52, I guess there's a lot of stuff that can get together. I think we skipped a slide there.
It's not coming up on the screen at the moment.
That one. So all up, it's going to be not recreating or not making a beer with Marley Coffee, which is a brand that already exists, of course. It's actually creating a Marley beer, and I think there's quite a bit of power in there. I think that's something that's going to talk to a lot of people, hopefully, and hopefully spread the right message of, you know, unity, peace, love, and sustainability as well. We're going to be very respectful of the product. Sorry, before you skip to the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to do a true marriage of two products or two beverages that people all over the world love, coffee and beer. I think they're only second and third to tea worldwide. I'm counting water out, of course. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of this. We're going to start by meeting up with the Marley Coffee team, get our creative minds together, do a bit of bench trialing, try a few things out, and see what we can put together. Can take any shape, really. Next slide, please.
That's so cool.
It is cool, right?
So cool.
And this could be, I don't know, I just put there like that get up, stand up, nitro cream ale, just to put something out there. Again, super respectful of the coffee itself, but more than that, of transporting a nice experience to our members and hopefully people beyond our club. Could also be the next one, please. Could also be, you know, that song Buffalo Soldier. I guess everyone knows that song. You guys familiar with what it actually means? No. Have a look into it. It's actually takes you away from a very Eurocentric view of history and tells you what Ethiopia actually stands for. When I was there, I had the chance to go to a concert. It's actually the only country in Africa that wasn't colonized, and they're really proud of it. And for many reasons, I come from a country that was colonized. It actually means a lot to transport that message across. It's something that the song is all about, and hopefully we can make a beer with that. This is probably. Sorry, did I miss something?
I can relate to what you're saying because I'm from Africa.
Right. I mean, it's hopefully going to be part of the message and the experience that we bring to our members and hopefully people beyond. But this is probably going to be where it starts. It's, I guess, a more obvious marriage of the flavors, a nitro stout. One love. Let's do the next one. I got a super exciting collaboration, and I think these guys are 100 years or 90 years? 90th anniversary, yeah. So Transport for London actually agreed to collaborate with us, and not only that, if you can go on the next slide, please, they're gonna actually let us mess with the tube map. They've never allowed that. Now we're going to put for every station a brewery that you know, is representative of that place. And James and I are actually right now speaking with breweries, getting them on board and putting them on this map, and you know, just play around with a brand that is recognized worldwide. Next slide, please. And not only that, if you look at that tagline. I mean, when I first saw that tagline and when we spoke about those guys and you know, you read the emails and that all seems very impersonal, I got goosebumps because that actually means a lot. And I think that like marries up a lot with our values as well. So yeah, I'm super pumped for this one. This is happening this year too. So yeah, and a lot of other stuff. Matt and Nikki, looking out for super valuable strategic partners to do collabs with. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in the works. It's gonna be a banging year, yo.
We have one last quick thing to finish off on that we missed at the very start, so ignore the flashing, because we had nicely at the. Thanks to James Calley, thanks to Melody, thanks to quite a few people that helped pull this together. But we had Siren come visit us this month, and a few of you would have been in the training. But there's a little short video that's going to go over it, and that's just going to wrap us up. And we're going to be on time. It's never happened before. Nothing to do with the sunshine. So yeah, some visitors from Siren. We're going to play our video now. Ready?
Yep.
So big shout out to Doug for the video. Thanks so much.
All right. Well, thanks very much, everyone. Yeah, feel free to hang around from here. Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for joining us online. Nice to see you all.
Thank you. Bye bye. Doug waving to you there. Thank you, Doug.